everyone. Today we're talking about becoming a Cashflow Pro. It's right around Groundhog Day, and so we wanted to talk about a couple things. Obviously, number one, when you think about Groundhog Day in the U.S., you're hoping that the groundhog doesn't see a shadow, does see a shadow. I still don't know, but all I know is every year it seems like there's going to be more winter. And when it comes to cash flow and budgeting, that's what I hear a lot, is it always feels like winter, right? The other big thing, one of my favorite movies is the movie Groundhog Day, where he wakes up over and over, Bill Murray, and it's the same thing every single day. It's Groundhog Day for him. Same thing with us in our budgeting and our money. It seems like we try to do different things and try to get a different result, and we wake up, same story, right? So today I wanted to give you a couple tips about becoming a cash flow pro and how you can kind of start to take some steps in advance to hopefully positively impact your future. Number one, when it comes to your cash flow, obviously we all want more. That's usually the number one thing that I hear people say is, I could totally fix my budget if I made X percent more. That's usually not the answer because we do things that fill up that X percent, right? First big one that I always recommend is, do you get a tax refund? So obviously most of us are W-2 employees. Some of us don't even know what the heck that is. That's okay, we'll talk about that in the future. But if you're W-2, it means that your employer takes out your taxes and pays them on your behalf. So when you see your paycheck and it gets smaller and you see taxes come out, that's what that is. But if you're paying quote unquote too much, that's when you get a refund. So when you file your taxes the next year, you get a refund. Everybody loves that feeling, right? Well, technically what happened is you overpaid your taxes and they're giving you a refund. You can actually go to your employer and see if they'll adjust your withholdings. And then what if you could have an extra $100, $200, $300 a month to live your lifestyle? For a lot of our clients, that would help a ton. Now, of course, be careful. Talk to your accountant, talk to your tax preparer to make sure that you don't owe, several $1,000s. I don't want you to go too far on the other side. But what if you were to save it? What if you flipped your tax withholdings, you built a habit of savings, and now you do owe a little bit, but you have some cash to pay it? It's just a change of lifestyle. Not a recommendation, just an idea to hopefully free up some cash flow. Next thing, number two, healthcare. Believe it or not, I've actually met with a married couple, looked at both of their pay stubs, and they both were paying for health insurance. His insurance would have covered her insurance would have covered him, but they were both paying separately for health insurance. So much to their surprise, when we canceled one of their plans, put the spouse on the other one, they were saving about $500 per month. It was about $250 per paycheck that they were paying, just wasting. So things that you want to think about. Number one, if you're married or you got a significant other, can you put them on their health care or vice versa and not pay twice? Number two, can you adjust the deductible? If you have a high deductible, that means you typically pay lower premiums. And if something happens, you would have to pay a higher deductible. Well, hopefully if you're healthy and you don't have a ton of issues, that might be the plan for you. I know a lot of times people want to pay a little bit higher premium every month so that if something happens, they don't have to come out as much out of pocket. That could make sense for you, but if budget's tight, if money's kind of a big concern month to month, something to think about there would be to adjust your premiums. Again, talk to your healthcare provider and HR. Number three, direct deposit. Believe it or not, there's still about 18% of America who don't have some sort of primary bank. So it's a amazing thing to think that there's people out there that don't get direct deposit, but it's real. And there's certain jobs that you'd love to do direct deposit, but maybe they've never thought about it. So you need to bring this stuff up to your employer, or if they do offer it, I'd say sign up for it. Why? Because a lot of check cashing companies are charging a huge amount. You're charging a couple percent of every check. So if you get a $1,000 check, but you only get to take home $920, that extra $80 every 2 weeks could be a huge impact for you and your financial future. Direct deposit, probably get the direct deposit earlier and probably wouldn't have to pay any fees, if maybe a couple bucks or something for the transaction. So something to think about there too is, can I do direct deposit? If I'm getting paper checks still, instead of paying the check cashing fee, get it direct deposited. Number four, just taking a look at all of the rest of your bills. So this one isn't necessarily a cash flow tip for increasing what you take home, but just kind of monitoring things month to month, year to year. So up here in Minnesota, we have this really weird thing with our winter and summer. So in the summer, we get a very humid summer. Most people want air conditioning. So their electricity bill goes way up. A lot of homes are run electricity for air conditioning, and they don't use much gas in the summer. It flips in the wintertime. We use a ton of natural gas for heating our homes, crazy cold here, and then electricity goes down because we don't need the air conditioner anymore. Well, what you can do is call your utility company and say, hey, can you help me average my bill? So you can do this for water, you can do this for electricity, you can do this for natural gas. You can even do it for some of your other providers like cable or something like that. If you order movies through your cable provider and just say, hey, can you put me on an average monthly payment? Now, what that'll help with is, with the different seasons, now you can be a little bit more consistent and say, I know my bill is going to be $112 every single month. And then if it fluctuates drastically, then you can relook at that average plan next year. So a couple ideas there in terms of becoming a Cashflow Pro and getting out of that Groundhog Day, tax withholdings, healthcare, making sure you're direct depositing, and then finally averaging out your bills.